What the city is talking about. This is Montreal Now on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
That is James Mennie over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, might as well start by talking about what was the question I had off the top, and we'll come back to the fiasco, as they're calling it, on Peel Street. And give me your take on this. You asked the question, by the way, and you're not the first one I've seen ask this. Is it time maybe to admit that F1 is out of Montreal's league? What are you suggesting here?
Oh, absolutely. Before we go there, Aaron, I have to tell you, I got some breaking news for you. Luc Rabouin was meeting with reporters this afternoon, about an hour before we came on air.
Yeah.
An employee of the Montreal Fire Department has been suspended pending the outcome of an investigation into what you so rightly and what so many people have rightly described as the fiasco on Peel Street. I wouldn't want to be the first one to use the word scapegoat. What the hell? Let me use the word scapegoat. Listen, there's no part of this story, Aaron, that doesn't stink to high heaven, okay? There are so many contradictions here, so many pieces of illogic that you realize now the city of Montreal and all the, how can I put it, all the affiliated agencies that love to beat the drum over the F1 weekend are now scrambling for cover. But the fact of the matter is, okay, and that's why I asked the question, none of this would have happened were it not for the fact that Peel Street had to be partially open to traffic. Because why? Because, St. Catherine Street is closed and we can't get any emergency vehicle access onto what would be a very busy street in the city. But why is St. Catherine Street closed? Because it's a strip mine. And it is a construction site that has been going on for months and my God, years. And here we are pretending to be a world-class city, even though our downtown core looks like a post-apocalyptic movie set, and say, oh, no, this will never happen again. I honestly think, I know we're talking about the merchants and we're talking about the restaurateurs, but quite frankly, Aaron, if I was a tourist who came to Montreal to see F1, I realize we can't control the weather. Rain happens, okay? But looking at the state of the city, looking at the state of the organization of the entire event, I would say I would go home very disappointed.
You know, beyond disappointed, Jim, and you're right. I think that's the case. I think possibly for people who certainly were downtown, I'd understand that. But this is embarrassing, I think, beyond just disappointed for the city. I mean, this is a bit of a black eye, isn't it?
Well, it's a black eye for the city, but it's like, what kind of arrogance does it take at City Hall to turn around and say, we realize the city looks like it's been hit by a truck, like it's been hit by a dump truck, more appropriately. There are orange cones there. Yeah, but let's host this international event like nothing is going on. Well, I got news for you. Something is going on. And I got to tell you, of all the things that made my blood run cold this past weekend, was to hear people sort of with a straight face go, well, why do they go on Friday night, it's F1 weekend? Excuse me. I don't know where the Grand Prix went from being a taxpayer-funded weekend binge fest for millionaires to being like, a research fund for pediatric cancer. But the fact of the matter is, as far as we can tell, even though these restaurants were told a week earlier to clean up their act, they hadn't cleaned up their act by Friday. Whether they went in Friday or Thursday, I don't care. The fact is nothing had been done. Now, the restaurateurs are saying, well, we were given conflicting versions from the city of Montreal, which sounds 1,000% accurate. But the fact is, this kind of gong show does not help us internationally. This kind of amateur hour, okay, for a city that likes to run around and thump its chest and say it's world-class, is not the kind of thing that, frankly, you and I and our listeners should be paying for. And quite frankly, lest we forget, we are paying for it.
By the way, I will point out one thing, and I've heard different sort of stories. Maybe we get the truth in here, maybe we don't at the end of the day. The simple idea that they asked the city and got the green light, but again, got a red light after that from the fire inspectors. My understanding was they were supposed to be gotten back to before they showed up Friday night. And Jim, I said as well when I first asked the question, look, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but if I did, I wonder whoever gave this order for this to happen, the finger pointing that took place at the end of all this, after, that video was posted by the owner of Ferrera, there's only one finger being pointed, and it's directly at Valerie Plante. And that person or those persons must have known that. Do you think that's too far-fetched?
Oh, no, I don't think it's far-fetched at all. And quite frankly, the idea, I don't know if our listeners recall this, but it's one of those great little nuances of the city of Montreal. When you're elected mayor of Montreal, you are automatically mayor of the borough of Ville-Marie, the downtown borough of Ville-Marie, which basically means Valerie Plante is in this up to her neck, okay? And if she didn't know, she should have known. And I know she's the mayor of Montreal, but for Ville-Marie, during F1 weekend, Valerie Plante should have people who are telling her every...
And there goes Jim again. All right, we'll wait, because this happens every day. We have... Sorry, Jim, you're back. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You're saying she was blindsided?
Yeah, to look as if she's been blindsided on this is really it just beggars belief, Aaron. And quite frankly, I look forward to finding out what happened. But in this particular instance, I agree with you. There should be a meeting of city. Should be a meeting of city hall, and we should.
Jim, you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This should be taken up at City Hall, Aaron, and it should basically be not done behind closed doors.
Yeah.
We should all find out what's going on here.
Okay. As you said, there was a press conference called. We'll have details on that later on. She wasn't there, by the way. The chair of the executive committee was Luc Raboin, right, because she apparently had other commitments.
I don't know if she had other commitments, but quite frankly, I can't think of a bigger commitment right now than this.
Well, that's what I was told, because I asked why wouldn't she be there, and that's what I was told. So I want your opinion on this, though, Jim, if I can. With respect to this, I'm going to ask the question of our listeners in a sec. When I first brought this up, and I said, you know what, if I believed in conspiracy theories, it's like someone's out to get her. Someone wrote, you know what, I know you can't mention my opinion on air. Yes, I can. It says, here's my take. The inspector showed up, so this is from the fire department, showed up and found a small discrepancy, warned the owner, was expecting a small donation to look the other way, didn't get it, and the rest is history.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's kind of in your face, though, isn't it?
I mean...
At the shakedown?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. No. And this is the problem. You know, sometimes when something seems incredibly stupid and you want to have a conspiracy theory to explain it, even though the real truth is it's just incredibly stupid. Even though the real truth is, as I suggested at the get-go, we're out of our league. We shouldn't be doing this.
Okay, Jim, I'm going to let it go there. Someone suggested we take up a fund for you to get a landline. We may have to do that. So,
thanks a lot.
James MENNIE, the Montreal Gazette. Thank you, Jim.
As a man.